Hello, I'm Ritz Blues, and this is Suburban Commando, a game released in 1991 from the film of the same name, brought to you by New Line Cinema, created by Alternative Software. It is available on DOS, so I'll be playing it on DOSBox, but I also have keybounds switched because they're the default ones are not designed from our keyboards. I'll put it that way. And we're gonna play on macho difficulty, yeah. So we'll be playing the full any percent run here. I'll go ahead and we'll just mouse over here, get started here in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so the first stage is kind of a humdrum, not particularly interesting scrolling shooter, unfortunately. But I am offering two different categories for this run, one of which is just to start at level 2, where the game actually has platforming gameplay. It's really interesting. So this segment is about 4.5 minutes long, something like that. And yeah, there's not much to say about it. I mean, there's 4 power-ups and a few obstacles, but it's mostly just wait till you get to the end. There's not much you can do to make it go faster other than survive. The power-ups are speed, shield, missiles, and power. And power gives you power-ups like better guns. So right now we still have our basic pea shooter because we had bad RNG. But there's also missiles. They're really useful. But the P power will add additional spread and damage to our shots, which is very useful. So we're going to rely heavily on our seeker missiles early on to sort of help us generate more power-ups, even if it's just more seeker missiles. We do want to avoid speed power-ups, though, as much as possible. So right now I've got 3, which makes the game almost uncontrollable. Which is unfortunate, but we should be able to make it through without too much more trouble. Alright, but let's talk a little bit about the game, the movie, the plot. What is this game? So this is Suburban Commando. It is a game based on a film released in the 90s. It stars Hulk Hogan, or it did, I should say. And you can see his smiling mug in the bottom left corner there. He plays the main character, a space cop by the name of Shep. It co-stars Christopher Lloyd as the sort of nerdy human architect character who lives in suburban United States. Played by Christopher Lloyd. He's just kind of a dorky character. And he's the foil to Shep Ramsey's, super tough, got it all together, space cop character. So it's kind of a suburban slice-of-life 90s film with a little bit of sci-fi mixed in, buddy cop kind of mixed into it. My favorite line from the film, Christopher Lloyd gets frozen in a bank heist or a bank robbery that Shepard stops, and he gets hit by the freeze ray, and when he comes home later on, he tells his family, "I was frozen today." It's great. But yeah, this particular scrolling shooter, we're at the point now where literally all I can do is just hold the shoot button, and we win. I don't have to do anything. I just hold the button and I wait. So, great opportunity for donations because boy howdy is this fun. Anyway, the main meat of the game, the story that's going on here, Shepard is flying his ship to battle the evil General Suitor, who is kind of a discount Darth Vader-like character, always angry, we don't even know why. And Shepard is flying here to land on his ship and to stop General Suitor. We just happen to be in orbit around Earth, And that's the end of the stage. Up ahead here, just a little further, no more enemies. Just, yeah, it's so thrilling. So yeah, we're gonna go defeat General Suitor in his ship. Hooray, that's stage 1. 4 minutes and 20 seconds later. Whew. All right, so here's the actual, like, gameplay. You get this lovely caricature of Hulk Hogan playing Shep Ramsey. And it's a platformer, but it's a DOS platformer. The original controls for the game, up and down, are Q and A, and left and right are O and P. So it has essentially QAOP controls. So at AGDQ 2026, I actually chose this game as a GM for Cuso Grande Live, specifically requiring that the runners play the game with the original keyboard controls, but on modern keyboards. I believe the reason that the developers did that is because one of the formats of keyboards back then is different from the typical QWERTY format that we're used to today. And so, even though it seems odd to have QAOP on modern QWERTY style keyboards, it really would have been more akin to something like ASDF. Which is honestly not that bad. But Up for Jump, still a cardinal sin of DOS games and early video gaming with a keyboard. It's just, it does not feel good. So I mapped the keys to a controller, to a joystick in quotes, and it feels much more playable. Unfortunately, the game does still play really fast and loose with the controls. Platforming is quite challenging. Shep moves at 2 speeds, either 0 or way too fast. Giant sprites with very difficult to see paths in each direction. I actually need to go up as well because there's a bomb here and a key up above that I need to get. Anyway, plot-wise, Shepard is on General Suitor's ship, and we're going to plant bombs all over the place. In the movie, he basically just gets on a skateboard and skates down, like, a fun slide and just slaps, like, bomb packets all over the walls. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. It looks really funny and just seems kind of pointless. Like, he goes in to destroy General Suitor's ship, but instead of just being sneaky, putting bombs and leaving, he confronts General Suitor first. Then, in his escape, he plants the bombs. It's just such a harebrained plot. Alright, so we have to wait for a cycle here, but we can also show off the cool flex. If you're crouching and you hit back, you can block bullets, like the red ones that the enemies in this stage shoot. Not particularly useful. There we go, we're at full health here. We'll see if we can beat the next stage without getting a game over. I'm going to give it a try, but if we do, that's fine. Alright, so here we have the bounty hunter that is portrayed by the Undertaker, as clearly indicated by the mugshot of him down below. It's a fairly exploitable fight. You can just kind of jump kick him and he can't do much to you. Oh, he has like a sliver of health left. There we go. But yeah, that's General Suitor's ship, which is stage 2. So, after destroying the ship, Ramsey's own ship was damaged, and so he has to land on Earth to get repairs. Unfortunately, it will take 6 weeks for the ship to automatically repair itself, and so he just sort of has to hang out in suburban America for 6 whole weeks. So he looks for a place to live, and it turns out Christopher Lloyd's character Charlie has a recent vacancy in his workshop, thanks to his wife deciding that they needed more money and they needed to, rent out the tool shed. As is also the case with a lot of DOS platformers, there are hidden walls all over the place. Here we have cars that can punch you. Also, the floors in this stage, for some reason, just make an atrocious buzzing sound whenever anything walks on them. Alright, so we only got half fuel. Sometimes you can get full fuel off that guy, but that's okay. We're going to grab a key and then make our way back and up. So yeah, secret passages. It's great. Alright, so we're going to jetpack up here. We're going to skip that chip for now. The MacGuffins for Stage 3 are computer chips. We need them to repair our ship. Birds are jerks, but thankfully that one didn't hit us. So now we're going to drop down another hidden pathway here. And grab a little more jet fuel. Didn't get a full drop there. Also, there's a computer chip there. Fun fact, if you fall off of a platform, instead of getting the coyote jump, the good old DOS games, they are completely unforgiving on that sort of thing. There we go. Alright, so we have just enough fuel to pop back down here and grab this chip. And make it back up. Alright, cool. So now we can finish the stage. So one of the things that Shep encounters during his travels to Suburbia is a mime. So here we have to save this mime trapped in glass. We don't actually have to, it's just funny. There's just a mime there for whatever reason. We are low on health, so we're going to take a game over on stage 4. Alright, so there's only one more chip we need to collect. We have a key here, plus another key available just up ahead. So we have to damage boost past these spikes a few times. Grab this key, damage boost one more time past the spikes. The jetpack helps. That little platform is supposed to keep you from, like, hitting the spikes, but it's almost impossible to do. Alright. So, kill that little punk. Try this again. There we go. There is a car that can punch you here if you're not careful. We got punched, but we got health, so we're okay. It's very difficult not to get punched there, but we managed to make it with 2 health to spare, which is great because we can take a game over in the next stage. Look who's back. Now we're at the bank where Christopher Lloyd gets frozen, and yeah, the Undertaker is back. And we don't get the delightful dialogue from the film where he says, "You're a dead man, Ramsey." But yeah, it's great. You actually get to hear the Undertaker talk. It's a very surprisingly squeaky voice. But yeah, it's pretty much a refight of the same boss fight from before, except with purple hair. Alright, skyscraper level, we're just going to take a game over here. The password for this stage is THX1138. Interestingly, stage 2, 3, and 4 all have their own passwords. The stage 2 password is Darkness, which is also the category for the alternate run that I'll be submitting. The other one is for stage 3, which is Clockwork. But we're going to do THX138, all of which are references to films. Army of Darkness, Clockwork Orange, THX1138. Alright, so the final stage of the game, Charlie's boss is a CEO for an architecture firm. And their architecture firm has won all kinds of really cool awards in the form of like kind of these sort of diamond-like crystals that are super duper rare. And it just so happens that those are the last things that Shepard needs to repair his ship. So the two of them are on kind of a heist type situation in the latest corporate office that's under construction. And the game developers really ran with that phrase, under construction, because a lot of this stuff was not in the movie. But yeah, we're gonna basically run around in a construction site and collect all these diamonds, crystals, whatever. Oh hey, we made it through there without taking damage. Neat. Now we need to hit this lever and then double back. See if we can catch that platform. Nope. I probably could have, but it's very risky if you fall. So we kind of have to go 2 different directions on this tower, this skyscraper. One is to the top right, and the other is to the bottom left. And as you can see in the background, there's a green pipe, and that'll come into play a little later on because we're going to have to get to the top and then take that pipe back down in order to take the shortest route. But there's a lot of fake walls in this level, as is the case with a lot of DOS games. That is our only tank of jet fuel, so we don't want to waste it. And yeah, and yet another sin of early DOS platformers is, you know, hidden platformers like that platform, that wall to get to a floor that you have to like drop through to get what you're looking for. It's just not fun game design. Don't do it. Or if you do, make something available in the game that makes that sort of a route a lot more obvious. Or a way to make it more obvious. Anyway, so we had to get 4 gems in this like hidden area that otherwise would be almost impossible to find. And we have a little bit of jet fuel available to get us through. This is the hardest jump in the game, and we bonked it, which happens a lot. We just have to like this low ceiling to deal with here. If you fall off the edge of it, you get your, instead of a coyote jump, you just get the lovely waste of jet fuel, which is nice. Yeah, these platforms, the hitboxes are not what they look like. They're actually quite a bit smaller than what they look like. God, that's annoying. All right, we got it. That is the worst one in the game. And yeah, this area might look familiar because we have to make our way back through the middle of the... we actually have to cross through this room like 3 whole times in order to get to the end. So we need to preserve the jet fuel because it will make some of the traversal of this stage a little faster if we can use it correctly. Such as being able to jump up here and skip this segment here. Alright, so now we're in kind of the upper areas of the skyscraper, and we have a couple of levers we need to hit. I don't need the safety health, so we're just going to drop down here and move on with the stage. So, you're probably wondering why I'm not killing every enemy or anything like that. For the most part, they're really hard to see coming. Oh wow, that's kind of weird. Neat. I did not realize that could happen. Cool. So yeah, there's a magnet. And Shepard is covered in like futuristic metal armor that is susceptible to magnetism. Hooray. Alright, we got it. For whatever reason, that thing was out of sync with the cycle or whatever, and it's terrible. Alright, this is what we need. This pipe right here. And then we can jump out right here. And that is the hardest gem in the game to get. You don't need the rocket fuel to get it, but it really helps. Alright, no. Alright, so we didn't miss any cycles. That's kind of nice. Yeah, now we've collected all the MacGuffins. Again, lovely shout-outs to Sonic the Hedgehog with the little ledges there. Difficult jump here. We made it. That jump up is actually harder than it looks because you have to use almost the entire apex of your jump to make that height. But now we can basically just run and jump our way to the end. We need this platform to get out here. Here we go. And now for the final battle in the game against none other than General Suitor, who has revealed his lizard alien form and is fighting with almost exactly the same style as The Undertaker. I don't know why The Undertaker's picture is still there. The best part is that, like, The Undertaker's character in the movie looks nothing like The Undertaker from, you know, wrestling in the 90s. So, anyway, that's time. So, General Suitor has been destroyed. Shep Ramsey can now patrol the galaxy. Hooray! We did it. But yeah, it's just kind of a hot mess of a game. We got a his score, so we'll type in our name for the his score here. And yeah, we got our his score. Another interesting thing about this game, the high scores are the aliases from the main characters in Reservoir Dogs. Mr. Blonde, Mr. Orange, Mr. Pink, etc. But that was the any percent run. It's the entire game. Hopefully you enjoyed the run. Yeah, I had to reset. You can see my first score up there. Didn't quite beat Mr. Blonde. If you can beat the whole game without having to continue, you can beat it. So that's pretty reasonable high score stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.